She's gonna kill me.
You're gonna be sleeping on the couch.
Wah, wah, wah. Oh.
Several minutes till the show. 4 of them, it appears.
Thank you for.
Blades of death.
Blades of death. Did they grab that video?
I don't think so. Tomorrow.
You bellow?
Real food.
They are too.
Licorice is not real food. It's plastic.
Licorice is another food group.
If you put this on a counter, would it ever go bad? The answer is no.
Neither do Twinkies, but we eat those.
It's Todd and Erin Morning Stream on GephartDaily.com. Thanks for joining us. You know, I find it interesting. Yesterday's show, 5,000 people watch, and we still can't get our families to watch.
Well, they know what we really sound
No,
like.
seriously, right?
I know. Yeah. Well, one of my sisters watches sometimes. I don't think in 20... I don't remember how many years it is now, but I don't think in 20-something years of media, I don't think my father has ever once seen a show, ever.
I told my mom I was an architect. Just never told her.
How'd that work out for her?
No, she's fine. She's okay, cool. So coming up in the show today, first of all, next we're going to show you how we tried to kill Erin.
No, this was very serious. It was a big deal.
It was very worrisome. What else we got? Noah of Noah's Ark fame is wrestling a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
All right.
We have the facts behind that.
That sounds very exciting. We've got free and fun today because now that we're in summer, there is literally something free and fun every single day. And it's time, and especially with my Zoe. Zaki's like sort of, I have an iPad, I'm happy. Zoe's like, I have to get out, I have to do things right now.
Kids are like that.
I know that whole social butterfly thing. Like,
all right, so...
Doesn't she know we're recluses? I mean,
right.
Really?
All right, so here's the story, 100 degrees today. Last year...
extreme heat warning, it's like...
Extreme...
Oh, morning, Mountain Cam, I apologize.
Yeah, we heard...
It's brought to you by...
Why is everybody so pissy this morning?
It's brought to you by Black Diamond Experts, electric plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'd be glad you called an expert. Well, you don't want to miss that because it is lovely. It is more than lovely. So, yes.
Just a heads up for the booth.
Serene.
Knocking without instruction doesn't mean anything.
Because, once again, you're expecting us to be bright. So that is.
And we're not wearing psychic underwear today. So
the morning mountain cam was beautiful, and it is very, very nice.
Let's get back to it.
Okay.
Tragic last year.
Now you're just not being funny.
Hang on a second.
Go punch them. I'm completely comfortable. Go punch them. How you doing? Yeah, this is what we live for every day. Every day, this is our life. Every day. Why? Because our cameramen think they're hysterical. Every day.
They're evidently stronger than I am.
Are you done back there?
All right. Okay. Because we want to do something serious, and this is really serious.
I'm trying to be serious, and they're screwing with me. Okay. The reason we shot this is there's an extreme heat warning today, which is sort of like a cheesy title, but the important thing is it's like 112 down in St. George, 100 degrees here. It's like 120 down in Phoenix. But last year when we had one of these heat waves, there were 3 children who were lost that were left in cars. 2 of them were babies, and I could not stop thinking about it. I was awake at night. I mean, I was haunted by it. And I remembered one time when I had left Zachy and McClaney when they were little in the car for literally 2 minutes to race in and grab something at the station. And the windows were all cracked. They were in the shade, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't change the fact that I had left them for 2 minutes.
Right.
And 2 minutes is 2 minutes too long. And I think about it all the time. So I thought, okay, here's what I do. I'm going to go sit in a hot car. It was a 100-degree day. So I picked Todd's car. We got the little temperature gauge. I had my phone.
Well, you know what? Let's just show them. Go ahead.
And this is what happened.
All right, first of all, I don't want you to do this.
Oh, stop it.
The car turns off. It's 100 degrees outside, right?
If you take a look right now, it's 99 degrees outside.
And here is the interior temperature already. Just shut off the air conditioning. And what's the 12-minute rule?
The 12-minute rule was designed by health experts. They say that's about the amount of time that the average child or animal goes into severe respiratory distress in a hot car. I figured 15 minutes, since I'm a grown person, I can handle that much. But you know, a kid or a pet can't really tell us what they're going through. So we figured, let's find out.
I'm giving you this.
Thank you.
All right? I don't want to do this.
Oh, stop.
I have my phone. Call me.
All right. Temperature already about 80 degrees.
So, first of all, as I said there, I was against this from the start because I don't think we really understood what can happen to you. And you wanted to stay longer just because you're that way.
And as you can see, we're moving on. This is where I'm really getting into the sweat part.
Look at the temperature behind you.
Well, I had made the mistake of sticking it in the window, and I actually fixed that. But it went up to 118 degrees in, I think it was less than 5 minutes. as I
When her-
recall. And we had started with it like where you would be in an air-conditioned car, where you turn it off and it had been air-conditioned, so that was at 80.
I'm right outside the car, just like, because I was so worried.
Except for the part where you taunted me and said that you and the kids were going to be in the swimming pool having a nice glass of lemonade.
Here's some more.
Hi, honey. It's 110 in here.
And that's in 5 minutes?
Yeah. 110 in 5 minutes. It's 99 degrees outside, as I said on the initial check-in.
How are you feeling?
I'm incredibly hot and sweaty, but the thing is that I'm just thought about this. I'm just like not even strapped in a car seat, because imagine the extra heat of being strapped down and everything. But yeah, or if you're a pet, if you have a furry coat on, I should probably be wearing a coat if I'm really going to make this.
Really?
Yeah.
The slow-mo of the worst shot ever. Thanks, guys.
So anyway,
The thing that was frustrating, and we cut out most of the boring stuff because I started repeating myself over and over and over
started to
again.
babble quite a bit.
And at first I thought, well, that was just really boring. And then I realized your brain does actually start not functioning in the same way. I mean, you start having a hard time remembering what you said, trying to get the thoughts together a lot slower, and all you can start thinking about is just how dull and heavy your body is, and we decided that we were going to start with a half an hour, and I went, well, but that's doesn't take into account how it would feel if you were in a car seat with all that cloth
Okay,
around you.
so
or if
that
you
was
were a
the
puppy.
mistake we made here.
So we went to 45.
Good. What's the temperature?
It's 118.
Okay. How you feeling?
Like crap. First thing I've noticed after 10 minutes in here is that my texting I was trying to text something to somebody and my texting ability went down. I had a hard time seeing the words and thinking straight enough to text. For 8 minutes. Okay, this says that it's been 15 minutes. 15 minutes in the car. All the windows up in a sunny spot. And it's 117 degrees in the car.
And the extra time was definitely a mistake because your body just went crazy. Your heart rate changed. You got out. Your mom really wanted to hurt me because she realized that what you had done.
Well,
How dangerous it is.
Well, this is how sad it is. Todd's camera has a thermal protector, and it turned off before we finished, which made me mad because I finished fair and square. But the point is, the camera was smarter than I was.
The camera turned itself out so it wouldn't be damaged like your phone does.
Yeah,
and
which is bad.
So
Here's the thing, though. It was absolutely worth it to me, and I stopped being able to text. I was trying to use my fingers, and it wouldn't work right. But I would, if I saw a child or a pet in a car, I would smash the window now. No questions answered. I would not try to even. I'll call police, obviously, but I would totally take the hit for insurance if I had to. I would smash the car. I would get the kid out because I wouldn't wait a second. Now that I've been through this, I would not wait a second. And see, here's the thing that broke my heart. I knew I was going to get out. I knew. No, but I knew I was going to get out. I knew I was waiting for a certain amount of time, and I keep picturing this child waiting for their mom or their dad to come back and save them, and they don't have that. So please think of something. A lot of experts are recommending leaving a toy, like on the dashboard, right in front of you if you have a child or a pet in the car with you, so that you're looking at this toy on the dashboard going, I've got a child, I cannot forget this. Because I do understand we get crazed and we're late and all these things happen, but do whatever it takes to have some symbol that you never, ever, ever forget.
if you go to the automotive store, you go to AutoZone or whatever, they have those hammers because believe it or not, breaking a window in a car is incredibly hard unless you have like a crowbar or something like that. But they sell the hammers. They also have the little cutters that can cut
For
seatbelts.
We
and
both
stuff
have
like
one in
that.
our car, and they're like
do.
$5, and it's absolutely worth it.
Makes all the difference in the world.
So anyway, just food for thought today, and please don't be stupid and try this at home because apparently I'm a moron. But I'm not sorry I did it.
Literally took Erin upstairs, clothes and all, put her in the tub that I had already poured and filled with cold water, and she sat there. And how long did it take you to recover? Days? How many? Couple days.
Yeah, my face didn't stop being flushed for I think it was like 2 days or something. But it doesn't matter. I knew I was getting out. Your pet and your child don't know that.
So the other day, we live pretty close to the city cemetery, the old one in Salt Lake, and it is just such a cool place to walk. And one of the reasons is the history, and you see tombstones with and generations of people, and sometimes they say where they came from, and then the statues are unbelievable.
Oh, it's so pretty. Some of the earliest settlers to the Salt Lake Valley are, buried there from the 1800s. And I mean, a lot of the church leaders are there with their wife and their kids.
Some of the work on these pieces, like the lilies there, are
incredibly
just,
tender.
Yeah, right. And so I'm looking through, and once
probably touched and humbled because it's gorgeous.
Right. And the interesting thing is that there are so many. I mean, look at that.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Look how cool that is. I mean, that's art. And I go through and I read these, and it's kind of like history. And then I came upon one that made me laugh. Here it is.
What's so?
Read it.
Try and meet me in heaven.
There's a little passive aggressiveness on the tombstone.
Really? Try and meet me in heaven. So either number one, they're like, I'm going to heaven, and I only hope you can be as good as I am.
This is like
or like what, everyone is evil, and you're like, yeah, just try to meet me in heaven because you're horrible human beings. I mean, either way you take this message is not good.
There's no way to read it in a good way. Try to meet me in heaven, which is basically saying there's no way in hell you're going to do it.
You're horrible. Or
You're
I'm
terrible.
so special, I already know I'm going to heaven.
And it's written in granite.
Wow, you can't take that one back.
And there was some thought put into that. And so they probably just knew their relatives really well.
Or they were wildly condescending and thought, I'm totally going to heaven.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
You can't, there's no good way to take that. There really isn't.
There isn't. You want to see a mean guy? You want to see a really
This is
mean
the most
person?
mean-spirited thing I think I've seen all week, which I, of course, I like it. But
he decided to do this, and it's rather good. Usually when you're in an airport, you look at the pillars, and they look like this. You're going, oh, there's a pillar. Oh, yeah. And, you got your laptop with you or your phone.
There's always the desperate search for outlets. And remember
gosh.
that one time I practically sat on this guy's lap just so I could plug in my phone? Because,
Right.
there's like a certain amount of outlets and we're all desperately clustered.
Next time you should tell him that's why you're sitting in his lap. And so
He didn't complain.
And so what the guy did is he would take pictures of people, and he took a sticker and he did this.
How good was the sticker? Is it really? Oh, that's good. That's horrible.
It is so horrible.
Oh my gosh.
No, you could see someone running over.
Oh yeah, their hearts
setting
leaping like
setting their
great.
bags down, getting their charger out, and going, oh.
That is evil.
Isn't that just great?
Those are good.
Those are great.
That you would totally not know until you were right on top of it.
I'm so gonna do that.
That is like the meanest thing you could ever do to someone like
Right?
me. I mean, you know that.
Because you look at the airport and there's like 4 or 5 people sitting on the ground, get their bags next to them, and they get as many charging units as they can. It's hilarious.
That is really cool.
He's going to hell, though.
Yeah, he really is.
He's the meanest person I know.
He's not the guy that tombstone's message was meant for.
Try
he's
to
going
meet me in heaven.
He's going to HE double hockey sticks. All right, we've got so much stuff with Daisy. Well, let's go to Daisy in the Gephardt Daily newsroom. It is brought to you by Robert J. DeBry, who's got offices in Sandy, Salt Lake City, and St. George. Reach him at robertdebry.com. Executive Transportation, our friend March and his fleet of sweet Escalades. You can book him by going to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing, they have 24-hour service for whatever disaster you happen to manage happen in your house. Good morning, Daisy. What's going on?
Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Tuesday, June 20th on GephardtDaily.com. A knife-wielding man was shot by a Riverton resident late Monday night after confronting 2 teens outside the garage of their Winford Drive home. Unified police officers were called to 111638 Winford Drive at 11:07 p.m. with reports of shots fired. When they arrived, they found a wounded man and a homeowner who was holding a handgun. Witnesses told police the man, identified as 36-year-old Derek Palmer, was visiting neighbors prior to the shooting. They said Palmer appeared highly intoxicated and had taken off his pants before walking across the street brandishing a knife. Palmer confronted 2 teens who were just returning home and followed them into their garage. A male resident, described by police as the father, came out of the home carrying a handgun and a struggle ensued. After a brief scuffle, the father shot Palmer, who was ultimately taken to Intermountain Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. He's since been upgraded to serious. Police say when they first arrived, Palmer, despite having been wounded, moved toward the father's gun. Police tasered Palmer, who was then taken to the hospital. Utah Governor Gary Herbert will spend some of Tuesday visiting sites damaged since the Brian Head wildfire first sparked to life on Saturday. At last estimation, the fire had grown to nearly 1,000 acres and was about 4% contained. One cabin has been destroyed by the fire and at least 3 homes have been damaged. 1,000 acres is a bit more than double the size of Salt Lake City's total Avenues area. The evacuation orders for Brian Head are still in effect. Rocky Mountain Power has restored power to the area, according to a tweet, but firefighters reserve the right to shut it down if safety concerns arise. Officials have revealed that the only survivor of an SUV rollover that killed 3 people is 39-year-old Cherie Ann Collier of Perry. Box Elder County Sheriff's officials say they received a call at about 2 a.m. Monday of a woman, Collier, sitting in the roadway. She was able to tell first responders that she and 3 other people had been traveling in an SUV that flipped into a canal. 2 other males and 1 female, whose names and ages have not yet been released, were found ejected from the vehicle and deceased. None of the 4 SUV occupants had been wearing a seatbelt, and alcohol is being investigated as a factor in the crash. And now a look at weather along the Wasatch, where today's temperatures are expected to reach 100 degrees. 100 degrees. Quite incredible, really. You do realize that only mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the noonday sun. That's what Noel Coward wrote. I think Joe Cocker mumbled something about that as well. So how's that for a parcel of oblique references to my British background? 3 in one just short paragraph. Impressive, huh? You'd think my parents designed the cover of the Sgt. Pepper album cover or something. Oh wait, they did. In any case, we cool down just a tad tomorrow with a high of a mere 99 degrees. Thursday, we plunge to a daytime high of just 93. That's it for now. More headlines 24/7 on GephartDaily.com, plus the news from Tinseltown overnight, coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Daisy. I'm still puzzling over the Riverton home invasion. Why does he take off his pants? I think I understand well, I don't really understand home invasion, but I see some of the other logics, but why did you take off your pants before attempting the home invasion?
Daisy said it was because it might have been restraining him in some fashion.
Wearing pants?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move
I know
on.
sometimes when
Let's move on to something more important, shall we? Black Diamond Experts. Now, they do electrical, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Once again, I would like to remind you that today is going to be 100 degrees. And you're thinking, wow, my swamp cooler's been kind of dodgy. I hope that's going to be okay. Yeah, good luck with that when it finally conks out at 4 o'clock this afternoon. But you know what? You'll be happy because these are the guys that do 24-hour emergency services. Now, the nice thing about it is they also do upfront pricing. So you don't get the bill afterwards and go, wait, what's all this extra stuff? Oh, well, those are extra charge. They don't do that to you. You kind of know what you've got going on. You know what to expect. And when you're done, you're going to be happy because satisfaction is guaranteed. They do not leave the job until you're happy with it. Now, they're licensed, bonded, insured. There's financing available. Frankly, you just can't beat them. It's Black Diamond Experts, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called in an expert.
All right, free fun. Now, how come all the free stuff happens during the summer and not during the winter?
I know, when it's bleak and despairing, and you really probably would enjoy it.
All right, here's some free stuff.
Okay,
Tell me.
for adults, this is, for kids rather, this is pretty cool. Cosplay 101. Now, this is for teenagers, and maybe you like the idea of cosplay. You think it's cool. Todd and I have friends who are very, very good at this. They actually even have a warehouse called Cospace up in Bountiful. But if you're just getting into it and you're a teenager, they've got Moonchild, who's a professional cosplayer. She's doing a free seminar to explain the ins and outs, what you look for, stage makeup, how you design your costumes, and how to get that accuracy. And it's really fun. That's going to be today, 4 p.m., and that's going to be at the West Jordan Library. 4 p.m. today, West Jordan Library, and of course, free. Now, as an adult, I think every one of us can agree that the one thing we need more of is serenity in our life.
Ah, serenity.
Because none of us have that.
I can't even spell it.
So today, this is also free. Spanish Fork Library. They're doing essential oil and yoga classes. Now, that starts at 7 p.m. Just come wearing something comfortable. They go through the basics of yoga with you. And
They oil you up? I don't get it.
essential oils, it's like a dab of something like lavender to help you chill out.
Oh, I thought you said it was for adults. I thought it was something else.
I'm going to pinch you. I'm going to right.
Ow.
All right, that's going to be the
That'll line up your chakras, wouldn't it?
Spanish Fork Library.
Because they have hot yoga, right? We used to. So now they have hot, oily yoga.
You see what I live with every
And it's
single
free.
day? Every single day of my life, I live with this.
You are blessed.
Really? Is that what we're calling it now?
Yes.
I thought I was being punished for a past life.
You are.
Okay.
This is a funny story. So,
Shut up.
this
All right, explain that this is really actually sweet.
Yeah, her grandmother, this lady's grandmother was sick, and she had to go into the hospital, and that's no fun. And if you're older, you know, it's a hard time. You know, it's a little scary and stuff. And well, Grandma had this dog, right? And well, look at the dog, because obviously it's a dog, and it's going to be gorgeous dog. There it is. Now, notice that you can't see the dog. Okay.
The way she's got the blanket over, looks like she might even be nursing a baby or something.
Yeah. Well, Grandma
Really?
said, I really would like to see my dog because I'm kind of scared. Hospital said, no, sorry, no dogs. Well, how about a baby? They disguised the dog as a baby.
You know, there's some little dogs you can totally wrap them up that way, and they're happy.
Look at her look, though.
I
She's
know,
like-
she looks so pleased,
she's
doesn't
like,
she?
I am a criminal. And then Grandma, of course. Look at that.
Oh no, look
Right.
at that. Oh.
Right.
Oh no, it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. Look at her sweet face.
And you know, a lot of places have care animals.
They have therapy dogs, yeah.
And they have rabbits, and they have cats, and in senior citizen homes,
A therapy bunny.
a therapy bunny.
I love that.
And they do ferrets, and they do larger animals.
Therapy ferrets?
One-
I've held ferrets. There's nothing therapeutic.
They took one lady, and she was very, very ill, and she missed her horse. So the staff got it all worked out. They put the horse in a trailer, and they brought it to the hospital, and they got her on a gurney, and then they brought it down, and they actually rolled her out so she could see her horse.
That is wonderful. Are
That
you
is
kidding?
wonderful.
Well, you know, I was thinking about this. If you caught
I
one
miss
of-
my elephant.
If-
Perhaps you could...
If you missed one of our very first shows, we have an incredible woman who heads up the Cold Nose Foundation. And what she does is she takes rescue pets into senior citizens' homes. And we actually had a chance to go with her. And she knew every one of those old folks by heart. I mean, by their names, everything about them. And there have been a couple that she'd been trained to lure out of their rooms because of depression. They tend to sit alone for a long time. And she had these little people. There was one gentleman who had just lost his wife of like 60 years.
Right.
And she put a dog on his lap, and he was just very softly petting the dog. And you could see the change. I mean, you could see
Yeah.
the light come back in his eyes. So
Well, there's
if
not-
you want to donate or if you want to volunteer, it's coldnosefoundation.org.
And it's so funny because you could be in a corporate meeting, in a savage takeover, and you're
We're going to crush the opposition. Yeah,
the
exactly.
opposition is sitting on one side, or it's a lawsuit or something, and all you have to do is walk in and set one puppy in the middle of the big table, and leave, and everyone will just be, oh, it's okay, you put it, but
I know we can get like donuts at the puppy.
you can have the
Don't yell.
company. No, I don't want alimony. No, just take it, but I get the puppy. And then the argument starts again of who gets the puppy.
I'm sorry, there's something so incredibly healing about animals.
It
Their love
is.
is so incredibly pure. 'Cause
And I don't care-
they're really not bright enough to know how horrible we are as human beings.
I don't care who you are. Suddenly you see a puppy and everybody goes, oh.
It's true.
It is true.
Cold Nose Foundation, if you'd like to donate or volunteer, it's really a lot of fun.
All right, it's time to say thank you again. Thank you.
The big thank you. This
Thank
is
you.
from Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. Now, I talked to Melissa down there, and she was telling me some stuff about the summer menu. They have this fish and chips thing that I'm dying to try. It's one of their early specials, and it's only $17.99 for a 3-course dinner at Christopher's.
What?
I mean, it's ridiculously good.
They
So,
have linen. They have linen.
oh,
on
it's
it.
exquisite there. And so you,
Look at
and they'll
that.
treat you like the little princesses you should be. So it's dinner for 4, and we also have a limo service from Executive Transportation, so you don't have to worry about driving. 2 of our winners are going this week, as a matter of fact. I just made the reservations.
Nice.
Our friend Thursday's one of them. Boy, does she
very
deserve
cool.
it. So in any case, if you'd like to enter to win, all you have to do is go to one of our 3 Facebook pages. You can go to Todd and Erin, or you can go to Gephardt Daily, Gephardt approved. All you have to do is like the page, comment, and share on the show today, and you're entered. That's all you have to do. Boom, you're done.
And the reason we call it the big thank you is thank you for hanging out with us a lot, evidently. And so we appreciate that a lot.
You're absolutely wonderful. All right, coming up in just a couple of minutes, I have an awesome Tell Me Something Good.
And I have a story about a Navy guy who got keel hauled, or should be. Maybe he will. We don't
Wow,
know.
that seems harsh.
And it's coming up next.
Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. Electric, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called an expert. The law offices of Robert J. DeBry and Associates, with offices in Salt Lake City, Sandy City, and St. George. Check them out at robertdebry.com.
The Todd and Erin Morning stream is actually available anytime at GephardtDaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page.
Talking about me, Facebook is going
Hi,
crazy.
MJ, how are you? Yes, evil genius is exactly the phrase. Tammy says, I love the Todd sense of humor. I could only wish. Really? Boy, you're being generous today. Sandy loves Daisy best. I'm okay with that because we love Daisy
We
best
all do.
too.
We
So
like
it's
her the best.
It's
as
not
well.
surprising. So thank you for following along on Facebook today, and don't forget we are on demand, so you can find us any time of the day or night,
All
which
right.
is nice.
So what are people doing to stay out of the heat?
Well, it's been brutal. It's 100 degrees today.
You know
It's
what the
gonna be 99
difference?
tomorrow.
You know what the difference is? Yesterday it was 95. You know what the difference between 95 and 100 is?
There's a difference.
It's like this much.
Well, let's just say I had to go running at 11 o'clock last night because it was the only time cool enough for me. Todd was not happy about it, but it's there's no other time. I mean, seriously. We're selling the house, and we had a house showing yesterday. And it usually takes like half an hour. They walk through. We had the kids in the car. We went down, got them some French fries. Oh, McDonald's has ice cream cones for like 79 cents?
59 cents.
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
And they're like this tall.
So we're driving around eating our 59-cent McDonald's ice cream cones. And we drove back up to the house and went, oh, okay, it's been half an hour. They're going to be out. So we're just sitting there waiting. And finally we realized it's an hour. And you can't go anywhere then because it's like, oh, it's an hour. They're going to be out any minute now. And so we're still waiting. And then I realized we're marinating in our own sweat.
Because
And
we
it's-
kind of forgot that our car is broken. It doesn't have air conditioning.
So it's an hour and a half later when they finally come out. I hope you enjoyed the house, but you better make an offer for it. But it made me realize we just sat there for like an hour and a half, like just dying.
And when
because we kept thinking, well, they're going to come out in a minute. It'd be dumb to leave,
And we drove around, we lowered the windows, which makes it more like a convection oven. So that was bad.
Yeah, but we cooked evenly, and I think that's the important thing.
Oh, man. 100
All right.
degrees. It's just going to be brutal.
It could be worse. St.
Could
George
be.
is 112. 112. What did you do wrong?
All those people decided to retire there.
Good luck. All right, this one is brutal to me. So it's a tell me something good, which Todd will warn you, usually start out terrible and
These
end up
usually
great.
start off terrible and just horrible.
All right. Mr. King is a very nice man who had got a very nice, beautiful, brand new truck. And he was so proud. First brand new truck he'd ever had.
Nice.
Gorgeous truck.
The smell of a new truck.
And so he pulled his truck into a Buffalo, New York auto repair shop, and the workers were stunned into silence. Can you show the picture here? Because this is brutal. Somebody had spray painted all over his brand new beautiful truck, and they had spray painted racist epithets.
Oh, so he got in,
And
he
ugly-
didn't know it was on the truck.
Oh, no, he knew. He brought it in there. He was saying, can you help me? How much
Clean
would
it
it
out.
cost to get this cleaned up? It's my brand new truck. And
That is
and
horrible.
they'd use the F word and they used the N word and a whole bunch of really ugly, ugly things. So one of the employees said, I literally heard crickets around the air tools because we all just shook our head in disgust. And so Frank Todaro, who's the owner of Collision Masters, says, you know
Right.
what? You're not leaving until we fix this. So they sat him down, they gave him a bottle of water, said, go watch TV. And every one of them jumped in and they got all of the spray paint off in 30 minutes. And they
Wow.
said, there's no way we can accept money from you. They said the whole pit crew was so upset by this that they wanted to do it to show our support and our apology that someone could be that stupid.
Oh, that is so mean.
I know, but the thing is that it was cleansed. He got to go out again, and because these guys cared about him.
In his brand new truck.
Exactly.
So, my dad was in the Navy. He was in the
18 years old.
USS Randolph in the South Pacific, hunting down the enemy. And he was a medic there. And everyone on, this is a smaller aircraft carrier, the big ones.
Oh, the smaller
There's
one.
thousands of people. You could know someone and never see them.
Yeah.
Unless you arrange to meet someplace, because
our friend Matt and his wife. Yeah,
Right.
they both work on aircraft carriers.
So they fell in love on the ship.
But you're not allowed to fraternize, so I think they had to
No.
wait till they got home to date. That was sad.
You really bought that?
Well, that's what he told his mother, and I'm going to go with it.
All I know is the filter room evidently is really.
Let's move on. I don't want Suze and Gary to hear this.
Oh, that's right.
They watch the show, you idiot.
Okay, I'm so sorry, and I am an idiot.
Poor Sue's like, what? What are you talking about?
So the Shiloh is a ship, and
Oh, yeah, the USS Shiloh.
right, and so basically they reported that a sailor had gone overboard, and they started their search. Okay, this is what a search looks like with the Navy. Okay, there he is. So basically, the massive search went in. We're talking helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft from the carrier Ronald Reagan. Yes, they involved an aircraft carrier.
Wow.
They also had a P-8 maritime patrol craft. The destroyer, John McCain, also showed up to help out. And the Reagan itself all assisted Shiloh in search for the missing sailor. Plus, they were off Japan, so the Japan group,
The Japanese Navy
they
was helping
came out,
them too.
Yeah, so they're looking for this kid. Yeah, and they found him. They had covered 5,500 square miles in a grid fashion, the way Navy people do it, and they found him. How cool
Oh, that's
is
so
that?
cool. So he didn't have had he been swimming that whole time? How did he keep afloat? I can't believe it.
He was hiding in the engine room.
What? That's what a 6-year-old does. He was
hiding.
hiding in the engine room.
50 hours. The search went on 50 hours.
He hid in the engine room for 50 hours.
You know how much it costs to even turn an aircraft carrier around? A huge amount of money. I will now read to you what Rear Admiral Charles Williams said. He said, "We are thankful to have found our missing shipmate and appreciate all the hard work of our sailors and Japanese partners in searching for him. I am relieved that this sailor's family will not be joining the ranks of the Gold Star families that have sacrificed so much for our country. And now we're going to kill him."
You know what that last part though? That is like the painful sting of shame. It is. Think about it. It's just like the painful, brutal sting of shame. Wow. We're certainly happy.
I can't even imagine what they're going to do to him.
It's not going to be pretty.
There's no way to repay it.
That's like a 6-year-old though, who hides.
Maybe he has an issue. I'm
yeah.
hoping.
You almost hope that there's some excuse for
Some
it, right?
crazy temporary mental thing going on that, because that guy is going to be peeling potatoes the rest of his life. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine what they're
Melissa says that guy is in so much trouble. Oh, that's
On
right.
Facebook.
Melissa was in the Navy. She
Oh,
was
that's
down in
right.
San Diego. So
She's a badass.
yeah, Melissa knows exactly how much trouble he's in.
I have no idea.
Oh man. Oh, and MJ says that her sister is in Kuwait right now, serving in Kuwait. Can you imagine? I don't even want to think about what the temperature is there. And they're wearing the full, all of
Yeah.
everything.
Armor. Yeah.
Yeah, everything.
Where do I have my story about
All right.
this?
The Utah Muslim community is happy today, at least, because part of the misery and the confusion is done. You may have heard of this. Iman Youssef Abdi is a U.S. citizen. He has been since 2010. He's actually an imam now for one of the congregations here in Utah.
Right.
And he has a wife who has still been in Kenya with their 5 kids. And he's been able to go back and visit her, but they haven't been able to gain citizenship for her and their 5 kids. Now, Iman had to leave because he was one of those people who, the Iman, had to leave because he was one of those people who was literally going to lose his life. He was being persecuted for his political views.
Right.
So they said, you have to go. We're going to do everything we can to follow. So this was the big day.
So he came to Utah.
Yeah. So and then he became an imam here. He got involved in the community and really tried to make things better and wanted to be part of it life. Now, the big day's here. They're going to get citizenship for his wife,
Oh, cool.
his babies.
Nice.
And so going over, he gets stopped like 3 or 4 times. The insane, ridiculous searches, almost misses one of his flights. It's gone insane. And then here's the painful thing. So in Nairobi, he was blocked last Tuesday saying, "You're on the do not fly list. You can't fly." And he's like, I'm
There
what?
he is.
What do you mean? What do you mean I am? And he said, "I'm sorry, you're on the no-fly list." And so 3 of his kids are already U.S. citizens. His wife and the other 2 have legal immigrant visas.
Right.
And then they were detained again in Los Angeles 2 days later. And they said, "Why now?" And they said, "Your wife can't go, but you can. So, Mr. Abdi, you may go with your kids." Now, the kids are like as young as 4, and they're bawling their eyes out.
'Cause of mom.
And they're terrified. They don't know what's going on with their mom. I'm sure that she's crying and frustrated. And here's the cool thing. The American Airlines pilot who was handling that flight
Yeah.
was walking, to head to the cockpit
Right.
when he heard all the brouhaha and saw the sobbing children, and he was, saw the imam saying, "Look, these are our visas. These are our passports. We're legal citizens." And he said, "I'm calling the police.
Who did?
The pilot, the American Airlines pilot, is, I'm calling the police, and I am not taking this flight off until that entire family's on. Can you imagine
Oh
the
my
courage of that guy to
gosh.
step up and go, no, you're gonna fix this?
I'm not going to take the plane up.
Because, I mean, we're talking days upon days upon days of just trying to get back from Kenya here to home. So he's home, finally. His family is here, finally. So congratulations. I'm
The
just so
pilot
happy
is
for
a
you.
hero. Mm-hmm. What a cool thing.
Isn't that amazing? I'm sure that the Imam has probably spoken to him since
Well,
and
we're
thanked him.
glad
But
so.
can you imagine saying half your children can't come? I mean, I just can't
Kinda
imagine
makes
having to
you
go through that.
Think about, getting bumped off a flight isn't a big deal
It's not as
anymore,
bad.
right?
Yeah, really, right? So we're very happy you're back, Mr. Abdi.
I want to prepare you for this. There is a creationist. His name is Ken Ham, and he's got a book out.
Okay.
And I'll show him the picture. The person you're seeing here is Noah of Noah's Ark,
And is that
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
that's a dinosaur?
Yeah, they're going to battle.
Is that like a gladiatorial
Yes.
kind of arena
Yeah,
where he's expected to battle the dinosaur?
yeah. It seems like, according
Okay.
to Mr. Ham, that after serving God, Noah reached a crisis of faith due to his mounting frustrations with the proliferation of sin and apparent silence from the Creator. So he decided to start wrestling dinosaurs. This is his take on the facts.
So I'm
of
thinking
history.
Ken drinks a lot, right?
I don't know. But not only he believes that dinosaurs were on Noah's Ark. Are they separated like 40 million years? Dinosaurs here and man's over here.
No,
There's millions.
no, you're
No?
nitpicking.
I'm nitpicking?
Nitpicking.
So the dinosaurs lived at the same time humans did, evidently, and they fought each other.
Gladiators.
Yeah.
The Tyrannosaurus
He
Rex
also
versus
said
Noah.
they were on Noah's Ark, and he also said that they fought gladiator battles with both humans and a race of biblical giants called the Genesis.
Of course they did.
Thank you, Mr. Ham.
So he's posting this as like sort of doctrine in scripture, like this is what happened.
This is what his book is all
I'm a
about.
Christian, I'm a creationist,
Yeah.
this is what happened. I know that Noah wrestled
Dinosaurs. And that's what happens when you don't have cable. You don't have cable. Can't binge watch anything, and next thing you know, dinosaurs show up in your mind.
Oh, Marie's up. She says, good morning, my favorite dynamic duo. Good morning, Marie. We love you very much. Marie works for the Domestic Violence Coalition, and she's absolutely amazing. And she's also really obnoxious. Never get near her on April Fool's Day. None of her own family will speak with her now because she's that good at pranking them.
So, by the way, if you are watching this and it's later, you're not watching this live because we do it every day live at 7, and you're watching it later, you can go ahead and see all the comments and do all that stuff and even comment at that point.
Oh,
So,
Juliet says, I missed that part in my scriptures.
how about the dinosaurs?
No, and the dinosaurs.
They also helped build the pyramids, I've heard.
Of course they did. Because they have, well, how could they lift the blocks? Because they have the little arms. How could they pick up the blocks to...
It's true.
Just wondered.
All right, what are we talking about now? Noah's
just wondered.
Battle. All right, so coming up. Oh, coming up, we have some information from Daisy about Hollywood and entertainment.
Entertainment news and more news about Beyonce and the sacred event.
All right.
Coming up next. We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. And also by Columbus Travel. If you go to columbusvacations.com, you can sign up for a weekly newsletter that always has great last-minute deals on hotels, airfare, cruises, and more. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin Morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephartDaily.com?
Images must be awesome.
You took those. We were up in the Uintas over
I
the
am
weekend.
awesome.
Look at your magnificent river. That is
Gosh,
gorgeous.
it was so pretty. We hadn't been up this season yet, and you go up and suddenly you remember why it was so fun to go camping.
I know it was worth every piece of dirt that Zoe brought into.
And watch Zoe get there, and 30
Yeah.
seconds later has dirt all over her face, and it's awesome. It's just a very
Pretty
cool
much,
thing.
it was beautiful. All right, let's go to Daisy. She is got amazing entertainment news about Beyonce. I'm so excited. It is brought to you by Robert J. DeBry. Robert J. DeBry has offices in Sandy, Salt Lake City, and down in St. George, and you can reach them for help at robertdebry.com. Also by Executive Transportation, you can get a trip to the airport or an elegant night out just by contacting March at executiveutah.com, and by Black Diamond Electric 24-hour emergency service. They're the experts. You'll be glad you called them. Daisy, what's going on?
Hello again, Todd and Erin. I hope you guys can see that between reading news and reading entertainment, I've been handed a delicious homemade breakfast made by the gentleman of our office. Looks very good, and basically we work in heaven around here. Here's a look at your Tinseltown headlines. Star Wars actress Carrie Fisher had heroin and cocaine in her system at the time of her death, according to a toxicology report.
Just that one right there. Sorry.
A report from the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office showed that the actress had methadone and opiates in her system when she died at age 60 in December. Fisher also suffered from sleep apnea and heart disease. Fisher's only child, daughter Billie Lord, said her mother battled drug addiction and mental illness all her life, and she hoped her mom's death would encourage people to be open about their struggles with both afflictions. Beyonce and Jay-Z have yet to tweet or post about their twin bundles of joy delivered last week, but widespread reports claim that the newborns are a boy and a girl. The two join 5-year-old sister Blue Ivy in the musical family. Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles, scooped his daughter with a tweet on Sunday announcing they're here and wishing the twins a happy birthday. And actress Hilary Duff confessed to Good Morning America that her 5-year-old son Luca has figured out that she is famous, and she didn't know how to respond. I picked him up from school, and when we got home, he's like, "I know your name," Duff said. I was like, "I know." He's like, no, your name's Hilary Duff. And I was like, caught. I didn't know how to respond. I'm like, yeah, that is my name. Those are the headlines from Tinseltown overnight. And I don't know whether you can see, but when we cut back to Todd, you're going to notice that he took one of my bacon pieces. More news 24/7 on GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin and my bacon. Back to you.
I know, right?
What?
I'm going to do it next time, too. I was going to take the whole plate.
Well, that's fine. You know what totally cracks me up about Beyonce, though, is that this is always what happens is you get these massive superstars, and it always ends up being like their second cousin Earl who tweets out, "Hey, this is so cool, it's had twins!" And you're like, okay, I had a plan for how we were going to do this.
Oh, who else did that?
Oh, yeah, people are always blurting out, "Oh, yeah, they're pregnant!" It was, every time.
Angelina Jolie's dad
Yeah.
busted her.
Yeah, she's like, "Thanks.
Thanks, Dad.
That was beautiful."
So you are back in fashion. You.
My old typewriter?
Typewriter
I have a
person.
typewriter from the 1920s, and I actually typed that.
She got it when she was in high school. There it is. As a gift. It was old then. It was an antique when they gave it to her. Seriously. How long ago? Don't hurt me. Don't. No mustache. So anyway, calm down. So when did you get that actually?
I actually think I was in college. But
And you
yeah.
used it?
Yeah, because it was cool. It was old-fashioned, and it was like you had the little ribbon spools that you had to put in. It was really exciting. Now, the only thing I basically use it for is like decorations.
I'm trying to think
Because
how
it's an old, cool typewriter. It looks pretty, so I use it for decor. But
I type with three and a half fingers basically. And those took you got to hit those
Yeah.
things, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
It
a
takes
difference
effort.
between a piano and a keyboard. You know, the electric ones, they don't really have any resistance and stuff like that. But
so why are you talking about my typewriter?
because they're making a comeback.
In what way?
You know, like turntables came back, and suddenly companies started making the stylus, the needle, I think it's called a stylus, isn't it? Anyway,
I think so.
so that become really, really popular. Well, typewriters are coming back. Evidently, and you figure this one out, there's a documentary coming out in August about typewriters featuring Tom Hanks and John Mayer.
Because who else would you pick for something like that? Oh, Juanita says, "Oh, I remember those typewriters." I still have it, Juanita. I do.
So here's the deal.
Why would they be doing a documentary?
They're having type-ins
Explain this.
in bars. People
You bring your
gathering.
typewriter and
you
you-
bring your typewriter and you bring your old one and you kind of show them off, and everybody tries everybody else's, and they do stuff. There's a guy in San Francisco who is a poet, and he sits there in the park and he writes poetry and he hands it to people and they take it home.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I
That
love
is
that
cool.
idea.
I want that job.
And you're right. It would be perfect because, you can't do a printer or anything. So he types it out and he actually have a sheet of paper.
There's this, yeah,
Typing.
and it's just gone crazy, and there's all the different types. The director of this, it's called California Typewriter. He says it came from being digitally burnt out, and so
Interesting.
Tom Hanks on there.
Type-ins. That's really funny. I like
This,
that.
just imagine it. Can you imagine that? You're typing under the influence. That's a TUI. Typing under the, yeah, it's a TUI. You get pulled over. What are you doing, mister? I'm typing. Get out of here, copper.
What is wrong with you today?
I've been this way
It's like
all
you have
week.
zero self-preservation. I mean,
I don't know what.
anything is coming out of
I
your
know,
mouth.
it is. I am going to tell you a story now.
Oh, good.
One of my favorite places is Utah. Another favorite place is Maine. And Maine, there's a certain thing about maniacs or Mainers or whatever you want
Todd's
to call
family
them.
has a cottage there, so we used to go there every summer, and we would eat lobster until we exploded.
And I went to school there, and you think
Unity,
of
Maine.
this, you think of that. You think
The
of the
lighthouses.
coast, the lighthouses. And then you might even think about this, another picture of a lobster.
Lobster.
That's so nice.
I'm so hungry right now. I want
And those
one.
people, the Mainers, go out and actually catch those, in those boats. It's a lobster boat. So they're out there. It's a tough life. And these people are tough and rugged, and even the women are. Next picture, please.
Okay.
Because what's better than syrup? But wait a minute.
Maple syrup gives you strength to build
That's
biceps,
all-
I guess.
Yeah. And show them the next picture. Okay. Ah.
Oh, look how cute! It's a little
Yeah.
raccoon.
Let me get my story for you. Just keep that picture up just for a second longer. This lady in Maine, walking through the woods, she came upon one of those.
It's
So-
a little sweet raccoon, yeah.
No, that's that one is. Okay, that's enough of the raccoon. She's walking down a path, and suddenly here comes the raccoon. Now raccoons can get up to like 40 pounds, and this one comes out. Oh, and it's rabid.
Oh, that's not good.
And rabid animals come after you. They don't run away usually. They act strange. Foxes do the same
They're
thing.
ticked off. Are foaming.
It's a young woman on this path. She was walking, getting some exercise, and here it comes.
The rabid raccoon.
The path was really narrow. She couldn't get around. She tried to run. The thing jumps her and grabs onto her leg.
Because they have those little paws.
And she's kicking and kicking and can't get away. And she's fighting, and her cell phone drops into this big puddle that's there. And then the thing is scratching at her. And next thing you know, it bites her in the thumb. Rabies. Bite her
Ooh,
in the
not
thumb.
good, not good, not good.
And the raccoon would not release her thumb. It was in his mouth. Her phone is gone. She's alone in the woods. What would you do? Well,
Cry
when
hysterically?
When you
Get a branch
just
and-
cry. Well, when you're brought up in Maine, what you do is you take that raccoon with your bare hands and drown it in the puddle.
Get out! Are you serious? That's like a movie, some sort of horrifying movie. She's holding the raccoon in the puddle.
Her finger is still locked in its mouth.
At this point, yeah, you got to release however you
so
can.
that is the good raccoon. This is the bad raccoon. So
Wow.
so
That is a sturdy woman.
she sat there and she actually thought this out. Now imagine this thing is clawing her. Good grief. And her thumb is in its mouth. It is chomped down on it. Now she is infected.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so she goes, I don't think I had the strength to choke it and strangle it. Because this is what you do in Maine. So she just took it and just held it under the water.
You use what's available, I guess.
And she got home, and their dad came out, and he got a bag and put the body into the bag. They went and have it tested. Sure enough, it's got rabies. She got her shots. Everything's fine. I did not know this. Animals die of this like really quickly, but humans, you can have rabies and it'll last for like a couple of years before you show symptoms.
Really? That's
Right?
kind of scary.
So there's a couple things we've learned. First of all, stay away from rabid animals. Number two, do not screw with women from Maine, because
I cannot
they are
believe she
tough.
held a rabid raccoon down and
Just gonna-
drowned
you
it.
bite me, I'm just. And the funny thing is, she goes, "It's so weird because I'm a vegan." But she's a man. She's a vegan from Maine. There's no I in Maine. Oh yeah, there is. Never mind. Well, you guys, thanks for joining us on the Todd and Erin Morning stream and GephartDaily.com.
Oh, good Lord.
So anyway, thanks, and let's end this up with Erin once again. Leaving anything in the car, any living person or whatever, is very
No
dangerous.
pets, no children, and I'll break the window of any car I see, either one, and I will not wait.
And we talked earlier about her experiment. We put her in a car, went up to 117 degrees, and she had a really hard time. So just as a reminder, we'll leave you with this. Thanks for watching.
What's the temperature?
It's 118.
How you feeling?
Like crap. First thing I've noticed after 10 minutes in here is that my texting I was trying to text something to somebody and my texting ability went down. I had a hard time seeing the words and thinking straight enough to text. For 8 minutes. Okay, this says that it's been 15 minutes. 15 minutes in the car. All the windows up in a sunny spot. And it's 117 degrees in the car.